Hello, friends. Jenny Joe here, and today we are going to dive into a very serious topic. As you know, as the pandemic has progressed into ever more scary variations of the COVID virus, we are moving into a really deep isolation exhaustion, is what I'm calling it. And basically, it's that, we're seeing that the vaccine is being administered, and that's incredible, but we don't, in our country, we don't have enough of it to go around. And then on top of that, we have these new strains that are super hyper contagious, and people in the United Kingdom are dying from this really contagious version. And so there's this overwhelming exhaustion that I've been noticing in myself and also in my clients. And not only in my clients, but also in groups that I'm involved in. Like, for instance, my daughter goes to a private school, and it seems like just in the past week, there's been this massive sort of explosion of just overwhelm, exhaustion, upset. That's kind of how I would put it. And it wasn't just with the parents, it was also with the teenagers, and that the teenagers were also feeling that sort of isolation, exhaustion that causes us to slip back into the trauma patterns that are, hidden back there, that are kind of setting the tone for how we interact with our lives. But, under better circumstances, we can utilize connections with other people to either mask those behind the scenes trauma patterns, or ignore them in some way, or cover them up, or we have other ways that we can cope with those things that are not available to us right now. So for a lot of us, all those sort of old patterns are like rearing their ugly head and becoming, they're just like getting right into our face. So I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that. Go ahead and pop a comment into the comment box if you have any questions, or if you have an experience like that you want to share. I would love to hear what's happening for you, because I'm just seeing this as sort of a blanket thing that's going on. I mean, right now the sun is shining where I am, but we're totally in the gloom of winter, and on top of that, just this lingering when is this ever going to end feeling, and not being able to really connect. I mean, it just isn't the same when you connect online. Sorry, it's not. It feels different when you're touching somebody. The online thing is great, and I'm really glad that you're here watching this. And I honor that you are stepping into this flow and into this conversation. And this is kind of the best we've got right now, but I'm also here to sort of offer up some solutions. One of the things that you'll notice that I do a lot in these videos is giggle. I laugh a lot. The beings of light are very lighthearted for the most part. Some of them are quite serious, but for the most part, they have a really great sense of humor. They bring a lot of lightness into all of the sessions that I'm doing. And so I'm going to be tapping into that a bit today to bring a lighter edge to this whole conversation, this heavy conversation. So some of the things that I've been witnessing in my clients are depression, like deep, dark, I don't want to see anybody, close the drapes kind of isolation depression. I've also been seeing anger explosions, people who are coming to me like, oh my gosh, I'm just about to kill so and so because they pushed my buttons so hard that now I'm going to just explode everywhere. And it was all I could do to not to not wring this person's neck. So those kinds of things are coming up. Also, I've had clients with deep fear of dying. This is something that, some of us have this. Some of us have lost loved ones recently, either due to the pandemic or not. And this sort of collective hanging loss is impacting our heart chakras, our lungs, and this is one of the weak places for the COVID virus to attack is our lungs. And our lungs are representative of grief. Like when our lungs are heavy or not working properly, that's one of the emotional aspects of lung conditions is grief, like held grief that's unresolved. And so this fear of dying is really impacting a significant number of my clients lately. And so I just wanted to speak to that. And if you're having that deep fear, that fear is settling into your body and causing a higher likelihood that you're going to be attracting that kind of stuff. So it's really important to find ways to alleviate that fear. On that note, the alleviation of depression, anger, fear, and then also addictions that have been surfacing. I've also been seeing that, like addictive behaviors that you could maybe mitigate with, with extra support that just isn't there right now. And so finding those ways to alleviate these bigger issues is just vitally important right now. So one of the things that I have that you can have for free is I have 5 simple ways to bring happier energy into your home and into your life. And it involves some basic things like there are certain crystals that you can use that will really actually assist in the management of heavy energies. And certain herbs that you can use. Salt is another one for dealing with negativity or negative energy. And there are specific ways that you can use these things. And the one that I love the most is how to use a specific light code that I received in order to extend the power of positivity and love in your home. And so, I'm just giving that up for free. Go ahead and click on the link that's in the description here. And that's yours. It's a free gift. There's also, for a very low cost, I have a mini course on emotional overwhelm relief, how to overcome. I have, there's a quick reference card, and you can check that out in the same link that the free happier home energy producing tools are. That same link. That same link has also the information on emotional overwhelm and how to overcome that overwhelm. Okay, so just a little story about addiction surfacing. I don't know about you, but I am witnessing certain addictive behaviors in myself, particularly around sugar. And I've had other clients that have been like, oh my gosh, the sugar, it's a tough one. It's really hard to get away from in our food culture. Our food is so full of sugar derivatives, sugar this, sugar that, like all the different kinds of sugar. Is not just sugar. It's like corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup and dextrose and, maltodextrin. And I mean, all of the derivatives or sweeteners that are there that cause energy spikes and cause us to get a little boost for a second or that feel good in the mouth for a second and then drop us down even further than we were before. Whew, I've been falling into that pit. So yeah, beginning to really take stock of where I am there and setting myself on a new course for more control over that that little habitual thing. And so for me, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but for me, when I start going to sugar, there's this need to fill myself with something that feels good, something that feels loving or nurturing, and so there's that underlying sense of deficit there, and that's what I'm talking about with this, the isolation exhaustion. So for me, what helps me is to get out in the sunshine. I'm a sun person. I really love the sun, and so that is something that I'm going to be doing. Hello, sunshine. I'm going to be doing that a little bit later today and bathing myself and my face and my energy field in sunlight and having a little conversation with trees and filling myself up that way instead of filling myself up with, the chocolate that's in my cupboard or, the extra sweetness in my tea or, all those little places where I just sort of, hide the fact that I'm doing that. And that's what I mean by addictive behaviors, is that these are behaviors that we go to, they're go-to remedies, they're go-to coping mechanisms that we hide from ourselves or that we justify somehow. So that's my my offer up for today. Also, if you are feeling that deep sense of isolation, exhaustion, and you're coming up with these sort of explosive anger or fear of dying or fear of something else, like fear of infection, or that those sort of deeper fears that like cause the anxiety to start to and then addiction behaviors surfacing, things like that, or you're slumping into a deep depression and you just can't seem to get yourself out of it. That's the time to really take action. And one of the ways that you can take action for free is by applying to have a free chat with me to just assess your energy, see where you're at, see if there's some way that I can assist you in your, in sort of those deeper flows that are surfacing because of the isolation exhaustion. So, we all have stuff that we're working on all the time, but sometimes there are the deeper past life and deeper past experiences that are coming forward because we don't have all of the masking available to us right now. And those are the things that I work with in the Align Your Light journey, in order to really extract that past stuff and retrain the mind loops into mind loops that will be supportive, will be energizing, and bring you out into the life that you're really wanting for yourself, so that you're not, finding yourself waking up in 20 years wondering where those 20 years went and why you didn't do all those things that you really wanted to do. None of us wants that. We all want to feel successful and accomplished and fulfilled. And so if you're in that place where you're wondering what your next step is, how to even imagine what your next step is, and you'd really like to get a free energy assessment just to see if there's some way that you can, find that sense of accomplishment and forward motion that you've really been wanting, go ahead and click on that link, sign up for, answer the questions, and then schedule the chat so that we can take a look at your energy. I invite you to do that. Also, the other link that is in the description here is just about the Align Your Light journey itself. If you're curious about that, I am still offering, I have 2 more spaces available for the full service Align Your Light journey at $500 off. I don't know how much longer that'll be available because, like I said, I mean, my schedule is so full right now. So I really just have two spaces left to invite in, two more full service, 8 private session clients. So if you want one of those two spots, I definitely would recommend clicking on those links to sign up for the free energy assessment. That's definitely the first step. Second step is to click on the link to learn a little bit more about the Align Your Light journey and see if that sounds intriguing to you, interesting to you. Either way, we can do the free energy assessment. And if really all that you're needing is one session, we can totally do that. You don't even have to get a whole hour. You could do a 30-minute session depending on what's going on with you. If you've got, energy cords to extract or deeper things that need to be worked on, then yeah, a whole hour is definitely needed for that degree of healing work. So yeah, jump in, take action, like really do what it's going to take to shift. Take advantage of the free 5 simple ways to bring happier energy into your home. Explore the extended offer from that on how to embrace a new emotional freedom, that the freedom from the overwhelm. And I'm super excited about how we're moving forward at this point. Actually, I'm seeing way forward into beyond the pandemic. And I think that at some point near the end of this summer, we're really going to be moving towards a higher degree of freedom. There's a lot of hope. It's just we are in the thick of it right now. And we're, it's like the last 2 miles of the marathon. It's exhausting, right? We're exhausted. And that's okay to just be where we are. But right now is a really great time to take advantage of all of our distractions being stripped away and really take a look at what's driving us in our lives and how that's blocking us from really stepping into our most powerful, fulfilling, successful experience of ourselves. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. I hope you have a really super fantastic day. And if you're wanting a session to just alleviate, like wipe your slate clean with this, depression or whatever's going on with you, anger, the clients that I'm working with are experiencing some really fantastic relief, and you can too. So don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here for you, and I totally care about you. And I want you to be happy and fulfilled and incredible just the way that you are. All right. Talk to you again next time. Many, many blessings. Pop your questions into the comments for our next live broadcast.